our guest today is such an awesome person. We have known him for quite a long time. Jeff Owen is Enzymedica's Florida Eastern Region account executive and has served in that capacity for the previous 2 years. Jeff has worked in the natural products industry for nearly 30 years and brings a broad base of knowledge on nutritional supplements that can advance one's health and wellness. And he's so knowledgeable, but he's so much fun, and he's
just the nicest guy.
He's cool. We love him. Hi, Jeff.
Good morning, Jane. Good morning, Peter. Thank you so much for that incredibly generous introduction. It's always a pleasure to be on your show. As a student of American history, I know there's so much going on in the New England area in the coming week with the reenactment of the Battle of Lexington and Concord, which I know was truly like the first battle of the American Revolutionary War, which got our country started. Then you have, of course, the Boston Marathon. So I know a lot of things, exciting things going on in New England and post-colonial America.
Absolutely.
And I'm glad you said that, because I grew up in Lexington, and every year it was a big deal. I marched in the parades. I did, did it all. But we've had a lot of people call today and just about every week on our program, concerned about health problems relating to their digestion. And so many people now are taking the acid inhibitors like omeprazole or Prilosec that disrupts their digestive tract's ability to function. Yeah, it shuts off the acid, but it seems to cause so many other health issues by doing that for long periods of time, decrease in B12 and calcium and all sorts of different health problems. You're here today to help straighten people out on that.
So do we have too much acid? Is that the problem? Isn't it a good thing to shut it off?
It's so interesting, Peter, that you should ask that question. In fact, when I was waiting to come on, and I heard a commercial, if you will, for the that Healthful Bone product. Of course, I was thinking about the fact that so many women and men too that may be at risk for osteopenia or more severely osteoporosis may not realize that unwittingly the reason why they may be developing this condition is because they have too little stomach acid, or a condition called hypochlorhydria. The notion that people who have so-called acid reflux conditions or suffer from heartburn and indigestion chronically is due to hyperacidity or too much stomach acid is an absolute fallacy. It's just the opposite. In fact, 40% of Americans over the age of 40 suffer from a condition called hypochlorhydria, or more simply put, low stomach acid. And as you alluded to, in terms of the whole digestive process, which starts, of course, in your mouth with your saliva and your teeth, the stomach environment and what goes on within your stomach in terms of digestion as it relates to particularly minerals and protein, and how it really serves as the gateway for how the rest of your digestion will go, is so critical. So the notion that people are being put on these so-called proton pump inhibitors or PPIs or acid reflux drugs, this whole generation of drugs with names like Nexium and Prilosec and Prevacid, it's absolute fallacy. It really is.
So what we try to strive is to suggest to people it's better to help your digestion function better. And so we want to ask you, what are some of the ways that we can do that?
A good place to start would be to talk about itself, the stomach acid environment. And interesting enough, a product that I have become so fond of, I have, in fact, a fondness for this product equal to Digest Gold, is Enzymedica's fast-acting betaine hydrochloride formula. And what I wanted to do, Jane and Peter, in the time we have together is, talk about this product in terms of the description of the formula, the science surrounding it, and the benefits associated with the product. So the fast-acting betaine hydrochloride formula with pepsin, and also features another very, very interesting blend of herbs called mucosave, which I'll talk about in just a moment. This formula is designed to help acidify the stomach, activate the digestive process, and soothe the stomach lining. which can alleviate, among other things, occasional or even more so, chronic heartburn and indigestion. Now, in terms of the science of this formula, this is what is so important for people to understand. Without hydrochloric acid and pepsin, digestion and nutrient absorption will not occur. So again, going back to that wonderful product you had advertised, the Healthful Bone Formula, if you want to optimize, for instance, a product like that, then you also need to be considering taking a formula like this, because there's a very, very good chance that people who suffer from conditions as serious as osteopenia, osteoporosis, pernicious anemia, childhood asthma, just to name a few conditions, H. pylori, stomach bacterial infections, these are all associated with a low stomach environment. So again, without hydrochloric acid and pepsin, digestion and nutrient absorption will not occur. Additionally, a lack of hydrochloric acid and pepsin can negatively affect gut health and our natural microbiome, that term you're hearing more and more about, which is like the galaxy of bacteria that we have in our digestive tract. So having a healthy microbiome also protects the healthy stomach bacteria, because what we don't want to have happen is an overgrowth of unhealthy bacteria. What people need to understand is if you alkalinize your stomach by causing the pH to go too high, normally the stomach should have a pH range of about 1.5 to about 3.0. If that pH goes up to about 4.0 by using these so-called proton pump inhibitors and acid neutralizing agents, you make it more opportunistic for bacteria that would otherwise be killed in the stomach acid environment to grow. All of a sudden you have bacteria going, hey, look at this. We could actually thrive and grow in the stomach. Well, that's not what we want. So this is really, really important. Now, the other thing worth mentioning about this product in terms of the science is the mucosal lining of the stomach. So within the fast-acting betaine hydrochloride formula, we also have this trademarked ingredient called Mucosave. And this is specially designed to support and maintain a healthy mucosal system in the stomach, and is also helpful with occasional minor gastric upset or irritation. And what's great about the Mucosave element in the betaine hydrochloride formula is that it's been shown in studies to exert significant protective effects on the stomach lining in studies. And this effect is especially significant in combination with hydrochloric acid and pepsin to relieve occasional heartburn or indigestion. Now, lastly, in terms of the benefits associated with this formula, this is what people need to understand. As I mentioned just a couple of moments ago, Jane and Peter, as we age, I'm in my late 50s, so I probably good chance fall in this category, and I think I do because I have all the classic symptoms when I think about my childhood of having probably an improper stomach environment. I suffered from childhood asthma, wheezing, and by the way, I forgot to mention something else here. You know, another thing that also affects your stomach acid, negatively affects having a low stomach acid environment, B12 absorption. That's also something very, very critically important for people to understand. So as we age, normal gastric acid secretions are reduced. So individuals, for instance, who have occasional heartburn, may turn to these medications, like the proton pump inhibitors, that are designed for frequent heartburn sufferers, such as antacids, Tums and Rolaids, and acid blocker drugs. But here's the problem. These over-the-counter medications raise the pH in the stomach to reduce discomfort, but really, they're a poor solution as they block the beneficial digestive effects of our natural hydrochloric acid and pepsin. And Jane, as you probably read just about a month ago, there was a study that came out. This is just on the heels of all these other studies we're learning about the effects, the negative effects of prolonged use of proton pump inhibitors in particular, and secondarily so-called H2 antagonist. There was a study that came out regarding kidney disease that followed nearly 200,000 people for 5 years, and they noted that chronic kidney disease in 15%, that's a really significant number, of proton pump inhibitor or PPI users compared with 11% of people who used H2 blockers suffered from end-stage renal failure, which, as you know, could lead to being on kidney dialysis, and it also was associated with catastrophic electrolyte failure, meaning that it literally suffocated your body of magnesium and potassium. So, and then you think about the fact that there are so many people in this country, of course, who are dealing with, insulin resistance and diabetes issues. So, and they're on these drugs. So it's madness. It really, really is madness.
Jeff, got to jump in here because we got to take a quick
Please.
break. When we get back, want you to give out the information. We'll give it out a couple of times, but I want you to give out the information as to how people can get a special on this. So hold on, everybody. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back in a moment with Jeff Owen from Enzymedica and talking about your digestion. Back with Holistic Healthline. And welcome back to Holistic Healthline and our special guest, Jeff Owen from Enzymedica, which is a fantastic company because it devotes to digestion, enzymes, all different types of formulas, not the enzymes used for other reasons as well, but particularly for digestion. So they are the experts in the natural health world. And Jeff, is there a way that people can get a discount off of the fast-acting betaine hydrochloric HCl?
Yes. If people go to Enzymedica's website, we have a special promo code we set up in cooperation with the wonderful people of Tree of Life Wellness Center, Holistic Healthline Radio. If you go to the Enzymedica website and you click in HHLR promo code, you'll be able to get the fast-acting betaine hydrochloride formula at a discount. I think it's a 20% off the suggested retail. And that's equally true for other products, but particularly this product here that we're speaking about, the fast-acting betaine hydrochloride.
And if people don't have access to a computer, can they call?
Absolutely, they can. They could call Enzymedica, and our office hours, we're actually on the East Coast in Florida, and our office opens actually at 8:30, it's funny, I should know our phone number by heart, and I don't, but hold on one second here. Fortunately, I have my business card in front of me, so if people wish to call Enzymedica, they absolutely can do so. That phone number would be a 941 area code, and that number is 505-5565.
Can you say that again?
Absolutely. Enzymedica's phone number and the office hours, again, are 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That number is 941, area code 505-5565.
There's also an event going on for the New England listeners. Johnson's Compounding and Wellness in Waltham, Mass. Is hosting a Customer Appreciation Day on June 1st. And our rep from Enzymedica will be there and giving out knowledge and giving out products and all kinds of stuff. So June 1st, Johnson's Compounding and Wellness in Waltham, Mass. And that's from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m.
And Jeff, just want to quickly kind of switch gears here a little bit.
Absolutely.
Don't want to run out of time. And again, the fast-acting betaine HCl, good for helping the digestive tract particularly the stomach, to start functioning appropriately. But sometimes you do have that, heartburn thing going on. There's a fantastic new product by Enzymedica called Heartburn Relief that we are seeing amazing results. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Absolutely, Jane. And you're right. This product that Enzymedica just introduced about 2 months ago called Heartburn Relief is based on what's referred to as alginate-based RAP therapy. So this is a wonderful alternative to so-called PPIs, or H2 antagonists. And let me just explain to your audience what I mean by alginate-based RAP therapy. So the best and most well-researched RAP therapy uses what's called alginate, sometimes called alginic acid, and this is a compound found within the cell walls of brown algae. And what's really unique about alginate, it has a unique ability to hold upwards of 200 to 300 times its own weight in water, making it a naturally gelling substance, and that's the key. It's a naturally gelling substance. So when it's taken in the case of the heartburn relief, with natural buffering agents like calcium carbonate, what it does is that the alginate produces a very effective raft to block the reflux of gastric contents into the esophagus. And this is what people need to understand. People don't have so-called GERD, gastroesophageal reflux disease, because of hypoacidity. It's often due to too little stomach acid, or the fact that the lower esophageal sphincter is not opening and closing properly. So when this alginate reaches the acidic acid environment of the stomach, what it does, Jane and Peter, is that it forms this pliable gel. And at the same time, the calcium carbonate mixes with the gastric acid to produce to produce carbon dioxide bubbles that gets trapped in the gel, and that causes it to float to the top of the stomach contents. So if you will, it's literally like a phone raft that sits on top of the stomach contents, and this raft-forming process, this is what's amazing. The raft-forming process will take less than a minute for the raft, and then the raft can survive in the stomach for up to 4 hours. And as it makes its way through the intestinal tract, in partially digested form, it behaves like other dietary fibers until it's finally passed out of the body. So the way we like to talk about this product is it does three things. It helps rebuild the stomach lining, it protects the esophagus from acid, and it relieves the occasional heartburn. And what's amazing is that it'll last for up to 4 hours and work within a minute. And you could chew as many as 2 of these delicious tablets up to 3 times a day. And I haven't tried the product, but I know with the family members who I have who suffer from heartburn or symptoms of GERD, they were just amazed at how well this product worked.
Well, I can tell you, Jeff, I've tried it. And, went out to dinner, had some, particularly, I don't have a gallbladder, so for me, digesting fats, I use the Lipo Gold, which works really well and helps. But occasionally, I still have some issues with, fatty foods. And once in a while, I'll have something that's, deep fried, and I know I shouldn't, but I do it. And this, the heartburn relief just takes it away instantly. It's just so amazing. It's just, I feel, it's like, gone. So I can testify. It is amazing. And it tastes good. It's, it's not this gross tasting stuff that some of these other formulas are out there.
Because we've looked at other ones that had a very chalky taste. And let's face it, you don't want it to do something that's quote-unquote medicinal that should have a unpleasant experience with it. And you're right. The thing that people should also understand is that there have been 14 clinical trials associated with alginates. So alginic acid has been around for decades. In fact, it's been used in England. They've done studies with it, and so it's not something that has just been discovered. And so we feel that this is a true breakthrough. And just kind of to circle back, Jane and Peter, on the whole issue of the stomach and the stomach acid environment. What I want people to take away from this discussion we've had is that hydrochloric acid secretion is critical. It's critical in aiding protein digestion. It's critical in activating the protein digesting enzymes pepsin. It fights off the undesirable overgrowth of bacteria in the stomach and small intestine, and it encourages the flow of bile and pancreatic enzymes. So your audience can use both of these products, and you also, of course, could use the Digest Gold. But people need to understand that, with respect again to hydrochloric acid, that when people have heartburn and indigestion, it's not necessarily a symptom of pancreatic digestive insufficiency. It's really a symptom of low stomach acid insufficiency. So I can't emphasize enough to your audience how critically important it is.
And I can tell you,
a proper stomach environment.
There's a bunch of people out there now doing the keto diet, where they're doing a lot of high fat, high protein, and they actually have what's called keto breath, as well as other odors. This fast-acting betaine HCl from Enzymedica will help eliminate some of that problem that's going on.
That is such a good point. As we were saying, when you think about your bones, when you think about your hair, you think about your connective tissues. They're generally comprised of proteins and minerals. I remember Dr. Murray saying that in his practice, when he would have patients often coming into his practice, women complaining about split nails, thinning hair, and again, bone health. What they didn't realize is that it was due to low stomach acid being exacerbated by long-term use of these drugs. So this is truly, to me, an act of lunacy, what we are doing to the American population.
So, Jeff, I guess got to jump in here because we're running out of time.
Absolutely, Jane. I'm sorry.
No, you're excited. I'm excited. Just want people to, again, fast-acting betaine HCl, and heartburn relief, both products by Enzymedica. Go to enzymedica.com and put in the coupon code HH, which was HHLR. You get
exactly
20% off, or you can call 941-505-5565 and between Monday and Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern Time. And if you didn't get to, what if people didn't get to write down where the Waltham event is and all that stuff, you can always call the Tree of Life Wellness Center at 508-336-4242. And we'll give you out all this information again. Jeff, you are awesome.
You are so awesome, too. It is such an incredible pleasure to be on your show. And I'll just say incredibly quickly, for those who also want to go to the Enzymedica website and learn how to learn about what guidelines could be used to discontinue PPIs, Dr. Michael Murray, our Chief Science Officer for Enzymedica, has a whole guideline how to use the heartburn relief and betaine hydrochloride as a means to wean oneself off of PPIs, because you don't want to do that cold turkey. So just go to the Enzymedica website and just type in Dr. Michael Murray, and you'll find that invaluable information there.
Thanks, buddy. Jeff. Got to let you go. Have a great weekend.